Indian crew on the side, fantastic to see, as well as seeing the Czech crew, fantastic athletes, veterans of the sport in the centre of the course as well.
Konrad Hulch with the white cap on, the 23-year-old who stroked Julian Scherbel, 26 years of age. Scherbel partnered with Lucas Rhyme last year at the Worlds, who's here in the lightweight men's single. There is Spain too, Denis Caracedo and Antonio Diaz Ramos, closest to us. So Miroslav Vrastil, more of him down the course, the veteran stroke man, and Yuri Simonek. Vrastil, a triple Olympian. Switzerland's the amazing Rafael Almeida Islands, the youngster burst on the scene last year, together with his partner Jan Schauble, and secured a fourth place finish at the Worlds. Now the fastest Swiss double. Okay, well, here's Spain 1, Catania Hortopombo, and his partner, Manel Balestri. And that Indian double had a fantastic race yesterday to get into this final. Arjun Lal Jat on the left of your picture, and Arvind Singh on the right. Turtles in the lake, Greg.
Turtles in the lake. Keeping that weed at bay. So let's see how we get away. Of course, it's really clean and quiet in these lovely conditions, these well-drilled crews getting out nicely. And plenty of rate, particularly from that Czech crew. You can see they were in our picture, but now we're having a look at this Swiss double. There's that high rating Czech crew, as we said, fantastic. Having Miroslav Vrastil in the stroke seat, incredible athlete. 11-time Ironman. He can run a marathon in 2:35 as his best, 2:35.
Yeah, and wait till you hear this, Greg. His dad, who was also a rower in the Montreal Olympics, got the world record for finishing 22 Ironmans in a year.
22 Ironmans in a year, fantastic.
That's his dad.
That's his dad, brilliant.
So it's the Czech crew that lead out. Sorry, it's the Swiss crew that lead out. Yes, thanks, Greg. The Swiss crew lead out. The Czechs won the other heat. The Swiss were slightly quicker to 500, I think, in that opening heat.
Well, I guess with all that Ironman strength, they'll come back into it in the second half.
Yeah.
Endurance.
And nice move from Hortopombo and Balestri, the Spanish double, bound number 5. We're looking at Rafael Almeida Island in the stroke seat. Just 21 years of age. What a talent. These guys have weighed in an average of 70 kilos this morning. The Swiss moving out.
Swiss moving out, as you say. Nice to see that Indian double. I mean, just progressing 11th back in the Tokyo Olympics. Right in the field here, and just great to see that.
Yeah, Arjun Lal Jat and Arvind Singh, Olympic veterans. I think one of them's got the Olympic rings tattooed on his arm, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think that's right. And like we said, they're around the boat park and really aspiring to those Olympic Games, get qualification, get out there and race. Put themselves in races of this standard, and they're right in races like this. It's great.
They're very low on the draw, the Swiss, aren't they? Very flat around the front end. They don't do too much. The blades are very close at the front end, but then it's a very horizontal draw, isn't it? There's no up and down movement at all in that stroke.
Yeah, no, it's very efficient. And unsurprisingly, we've seen the Swiss have got that lead that they had early on. The Czechs, with their experience and quality, we see them now, have gone with that pace. Not necessarily moved back on the Swiss, but certainly moved on the rest of the field.
Yeah, it's interesting to look at those little blue graphics on the right. You know, that they are the fastest moving boats on the course. You see that blue graphic has gone on with the Czechs, who are slightly moving quicker, edging back on the Swiss. More to see with the veteran triathlete, Miroslav Vrastil, anyone who can do a triathlete in around about an Ironman in around about 9 hours is going to have amazing endurance over this lake.
We should mention Yuri Simonek, who rows with him as well, also been rowing for 16 years. We said they've had a smooth year so far. He's studying organic chemistry. And look at them, they're hanging in there with that Swiss double. Keeping that overlap, they're going to need that big third quarter, I think, at the front of the field.
Big third quarters asked for. Spain won in second place. Sorry, in third place, Spain won. Catania Hortopombo he's just a youngster, 20 years of age, and Manuel Balestegui, 23.
Well, the Swiss really trying to push and get that little bit of clear water in the third quarter, but at the moment it's working for them. They've just opened that gap with that flat draw that you talked about, Martin, those hands going in. And it looks pretty nice, really, when you look at that Swiss double, just how well they move together and how smooth and quiet that is, and low.
Yeah, and you see the graphic, you know, they're the fastest moving boat on the course now, so the Czechs haven't found that surge in the third quarter. In fact, it's been the Swiss who are the fastest moving boat on the course. Spain back in third place. The field's really spread out. Over on the far side, the battle between the Austrians and the second Spanish boat, and India out of shot on this near side. How are the Indians doing, Greg?
They're out of shot, but they're not really out of the race. They are in sixth place, but they're 6 meters behind the Austrians on the far side of the course.
Mustafa Vrastil and his partner Yuri Shimanek. Do you think this Swiss double can take on the Irish? Paul O'Donovan and Fintan McCarthy, do you think they've got that much better this year than they were last year?
We'll have to wait and see how the year goes. I'm sure they're going to be racing those shadows. I'm sure they'll be imagining who's alongside them and what they need to do to test it. They've had a great third 500. We said a lot was going to happen in the third 500. The gaps have just got bigger, as now you can see what it's like down here in this fourth and fifth, and then that Indian double. Not completely out of it, but they were in a better position through the first 500, so they're in danger of getting slightly dropped.
So the Czechs, they won the heat, put them straight through into this final, as did the Swiss, but the Swiss scored the faster time in the heat, and it looks like they're winding it through, perhaps losing a little bit of that poise that they had as they go through the gears, Greg.
Yeah, well, you can see the stroke rate coming up, but it's still that lowness in the body that you talked about, that there's not any kind of unnecessary vertical movement. It's sort of like they're hardly tapped down with their hands. In this clean water, they can keep the blades close to the water. If it was more wavy, you might have to tap your hands down more to get more clearance. They don't need that. They could almost just scull in and out.
The Swiss cowbells are ringing. Normally, well, actually, you hear them on any European course, any world course, to be fair. The Czechs coming a little bit back on the Swiss. The Spanish, the fastest moving boat on the course at the moment. Swiss, I think, just tying up as they come up to the line, but they've got the margin they need. The Czechs going for the overlap.
Czechs are flying back, but it's going to be, the lead is too much. But it could be clear water, an overlap at the end, I think.
Yeah. So coming up to the line, it is Switzerland, Jan Schauble and Rafael Almeida Islands who cross the line. Just a bit of clear water over Vrastil and Šimanek from the Czech Republic. Gaetano Hortopom.
Opportunity for them, with only one boat class available to lightweight men. 4 doesn't go into 2.